If you open the Bible to its 10th book, 2 Samuel, you'll find a story that looks very different from the one before it. Instead of running for his life as a fugitive in the wilderness, David finally takes the throne as king. The text provides a detailed study of the specific challenges that come with high-level leadership. It explores what happens when a person is given total authority, documenting both the weight of that responsibility and the reality of personal failure. This timeline shows how the book is divided into two distinct halves. The first 10 chapters track David's triumphs as he rises to power, and the rest of the book documents his troubles. To understand 2 Samuel, we have to watch what happens to a person's character when they finally achieve the goals they've been pursuing for years. This map shows the Holy Land after the death of King Saul. Initially, David is only crowned king over this single southern tribe, Judah. Following a brief civil war, the northern tribes submit, and David unites the territories, becoming king over all of Israel. With the nation united, he needs a neutral capital. He captures the fortress city of Jerusalem, establishing it as both the political headquarters and the spiritual center of the nation. Through strategic patience and military success, David has shifted his role, moving from a local tribal leader to the sovereign of a unified and growing nation. From his new capital, David launches campaigns that secure the surrounding regions, expanding the borders of Israel further than they had ever been before. David's dynasty is a verified historical reality, and we have the archaeological proof to back it up. Carved into this stone, the Tel Dan inscription, is Aramaic text that references the house of David. Because of his faithfulness, God rewards David with what we call the Davidic covenant. This is a divine promise, declaring that David's royal bloodline will endure forever. This specific promise sets the stage for the rest of the Bible. It establishes the lineage that eventually leads to Jesus in the New Testament. At this point in the narrative, David is at his peak. He controls a secure territory, he has established a permanent capital, and he carries a divine promise for his family line that will outlast his own life. Then, in chapter 11, the narrative takes a sharp turn. David chooses to stay home in his palace while his army is out at war. While there, he abuses his position, sleeping with a married woman named Bathsheba. When he learns she is pregnant, he goes to chilling lengths to hide his actions. He orchestrates a ruthless plan to have Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, killed on the front lines of the battlefield. This chart tracks the moral trajectory of the story. You can see the sharp plunge into the dark, wicked valley right here. The former shepherd boy has become a corrupt abuser, and even though he eventually repents, the damage to his character and legacy is permanent. The consequences of David's choices hit his own home first. His family fractures, falling into a cycle of betrayal and violence. Because David fails to address these issues, the tension grows. What starts as a domestic problem quickly escalates into a national crisis. David's own son, Absalom, organizes a rebellion and leads a coup to take the throne for himself. In a tragic reversal, the great King David is forced to abandon his capital. He runs for his life, leaving behind the stone foundations of the kingdom he built to become a fugitive once again. A leader's private moral choices eventually create public consequences that impact the entire nation. The civil war ends with a bitter victory. Absalom is killed in battle, leaving David heartbroken. The final chapters of the book act as an appendix. They show an aging David navigating remaining conflicts, surviving famine and plagues, and making preparations for a future temple. Ultimately, 2 Samuel is an unflinching look at human nature. It refuses to hide the flaws of its greatest national hero. By showing that even a king as accomplished as David will fail and disappoint, the book directs our attention toward the need for a perfect, eternal future king.